sit there bored, travelling from A to B in the car, headphones in, playlist on shuffle, and boom, a song from the very best days of your life plays and stops you dead. The good old days, as people call it. Suddenly, your chest is full of something warm, yet painful at the same time. That's nostalgia, and if you're watching this, it's probably been weighing on you for a while. In this video, we will break down why nostalgia feels so bittersweet, what actually happens in our brain when it hits, and most importantly, how to fall in love with the life you have right now. Nostalgia, stemming from the Greek word nostos, homecoming, and algos, pain, represents a sad pleasure or a deep desire to return to the fondest memories and times in one's life. It's often triggered by a certain stimuli. It could be music you listened to in the past, scents you smelled during childhood. This one hits the most for me. I know I'm not the only one who gets a whiff of that certain scent and starts sniffing around like a madman. Or playing a video game you enjoyed in a simpler time of life. Personally, sometimes I revisit the media that I used to adore and find this feeling of disappointment in my heart, knowing nothing has changed in the media, but everything has changed in life, leading it to not feeling the same. Becoming older, having responsibilities, and simply just being in a different stage in life can cause these visits down memory lane to often feel emptier and plainly just bleak. I guess this stresses the idea of living in the moment, because you'll never know when you'll be longing to return. It doesn't take a genius to realise nostalgia feels good, but often people can't quite understand that it has a level of pain to it as well. The bittersweetness of this deep feeling can cause people who aren't happy with their current situation to find comfort in the good old days. Now, this can produce this warm hug type of feeling, but it also can prevent you from living in the moment. In 1, 2, or even 5 years from now, you will be feeling nostalgic about this very moment you find yourself escaping from now. So why live in the past when you can live in the moment, which will inevitably become the past? You must understand, the past life you experienced doesn't exist anymore, but the present you are living in now does. Make it count, so you can look back in years' time proudly and not crippled by the regret of living in the nostalgia of the past. I now would like to give an insight of a personal experience of mine, which I believe could be relatable to you as well. I sometimes listen to the music I listen to when getting to know and the early stages of my relationship with my now partner of 3 years. It most definitely makes me feel nostalgic, but it certainly brings me a type of pain. As in any relationship, often the early stages feel euphoric, but as we grew as people, which is expected within a time span of 3 years, a lot changed, and I found myself reliving them times through music. I wasn't aware at the time, but this was a dangerous habit. I wasn't living in the moment, and I kept attempting to recreate them early moments, then finding myself disappointed when it didn't feel the same. I then spoke to her about these feelings I was having, and she suggested I should start living in the present, and since I did, I felt better and definitely felt happier. The lesson I learned through this experience was that living through nostalgia can feel comforting at first, but it eventually evolves into living a false reality, which can prevent enjoying the time with the people around you in the present moment. The brain, as in many other aspects of our life, is overloaded when feeling nostalgic. Multiple parts are engaged and responsible for the feeling we have named as nostalgia. When this sensation occurs, it triggers our brain's reward system, which releases dopamine. It activates the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex, creating a natural high that enhances emotional comfort and reduces stress. Now, it all sounds great and magical. However, nostalgia can act like a double-edged sword on the brain by creating a dependency on past memories to trigger a feel-good state. Do you now see the way the brain can play tricks on us? But hold on, it doesn't stop there. Have you ever remembered a past experience as pure and exclusively happy, then come to realise that this memory wasn't as pure as you remembered? Again, that's the brain using its tricks on us. This phenomenon I just explained is another thing that happens during nostalgia. It is scientifically proven that we as humans subconsciously reconstruct our memories each time we recall them, which causes us to filter out the negative details and enhance the positive emotions associated with the memory. This is another of the many reasons why it's so dangerous heavily seeking out nostalgia, as what you remember may not be as happy as you remember it to be. Due to us seeing our memories through rose-tinted glasses and romanticizing experiences that may not have been as pleasant as we vision in our minds, it causes our brains to crave feelings of nostalgia. If you think about it, if you feel happy about a certain thing, you are going to want to chase it to recreate the same feeling of happiness. This is exactly what happens to the brain. Dopamine gets released, which makes us feel good and happy. Then we crave the same feeling, so we can continue to feel happy and good. It can turn into a vicious cycle, leading us to becoming addicted to seeking out nostalgia, which in turn blinds us to the negative learning experiences we've had and prevents us from living in the moment, potentially damaging our relationships with those around us. Just like what I've personally experienced myself. This is why it's so important to learn to live in the moment and overcome nostalgia cravings, which is exactly what I'm going to talk about next. Firstly, revisiting old memories can become healthy if you do it with friends or family. For example, going through an old photo album with your family, playing a game you used to play with your friends together again, or even a simple conversation with another person talking about your past experiences. All of these have one thing in common: they are social. The small shift from reminiscing alone to sharing past experiences with other people is night and day. During these moments, new memories can be made. Laughing with friends again, having a healthy debate about how that past experience really went, and the most beautiful one in my opinion, revisiting old photos and videos with your partner, the one you love the most, and it ending in a big hug and a deeper connection being formed. So to put it short and sweet, revisit past memories with the people who were there at the time and share past experiences with the people new in your life. Don't do it alone, as it can lead to the cycle we talked about earlier. Okay, next you need to remember that the brain plays tricks on you, like what we shortly just talked about. The brain participates in selective memory, removing the negative emotions from the moments in the past, which in turn will lead you comparing your current present state of life to a past that didn't really exist. This will lead to feeling a state of unfulfillment in your present life in trying to recreate and chase past memories that were romanticized and seen through rose-tinted glasses. So, when you do find yourself feeling nostalgic, instead of wishing that you could go back to that point in the past, reframe your mindset to feel grateful that you experienced that point in your life and its contribution to shaping your present self. Nostalgia is a bittersweet emotion, imposing many dangerous habits which could lead to a disconnect in the present moment. However, with these steps I've given you, you can learn to overcome nostalgia and be free from an addiction to a past life that may not have been the way you remember it. Thank you for watching. I hope you found value in this video. If you resonated with any of the advice I gave, feel free to leave a like. And while you're at it, leave a comment about a time you felt the most nostalgic in your life. That's it from me, and we will speak very soon. Bye.